One of my clients is experiencing some forearm tightness, so I want to show a stretch and a therapy that you can use to address that. The stretch is to take the back of your hand and push it into your thigh and then straighten your arm out. So I'm pushing specifically through kind of the knuckle of my pointer finger, and that's going to give me the best stretch through the forearm muscle. You can then take your other hand, take the fingertips and massage through those tissues, and that can help break up some tightness that you have in the fascia, help promote blood flow, and get the muscle to just loosen up a little bit. You'll notice that this feels more freedom of movement once you're done doing this. You just massage all the way through the different areas that feel tight for you. This is something you can do any time of the day, whenever the muscle feels tight and annoyed. That'll help open up a lot of the movement initially. And then the therapy we have is to use a floss band. This is just a kind of a latex rubber band. You can get this on Amazon, Rogue Fitness, Lead FTS, pretty much any fitness site is going to have this. What we want to do is you can open up a tail end of the band and kind of pinch it down. You want to bring that excess around and then overlap the extra that you have now around that area. And now once you have it bound down, you can start to kind of tighten everything around. So as I'm pulling it around, I'm also going to try to tighten that now. And each time I'm going to pinch it against my leg so that way I can get it tighter and tighter as I'm going each wrap. So I'm starting at where the base of the forearm muscle is, and then wrapping around, like maybe overlapping a quarter of the band width each time I'm going up and around, and then I'm pulling it tight each time as well. We're wanting to create compression around the muscle, so that way once we have it set up with compression, we can then create movement, and that helps to open up tissues that might be bound down or stuck to each other. So you would take this all the way around until you run out of band, which I'm getting to. Once you have what you feel like is near the end, you want to bring the band around a little bit looser so that way you can tuck it underneath itself. So I'll bring this over around and then tuck the tail end back under itself. So that way it stays on its own, which just happened to be in a really weird position on the back side of my forearm. So now that I have that bound down, I have this compression through the forearm muscle, and now I'm just going to basically rotate and roll my wrist around. You can do it with a closed fist, you can do it with an open fist, you can go clockwise, counterclockwise. I can even bend and move my arm like this. The idea is just to create some movement and get that tissue moving around. You can twist and move all around like that as well. So what this does is if any of the fascia is bound down to the muscle tissue, if any of the muscle is bound to itself, this helps to kind of break up those adhesions and kind of get everything moving and flowing again. Then once you've moved it around, you then just release that tension and wrap the band back up. You'll notice that if you did a nice amount of tension, your arm is now discolored and has some nice lines. Those will go away, but you're going to feel a lot more freedom of movement now, and that will alleviate a lot of the chronic issue that you're having if that muscle has been bound down or tight. Now that you've done the therapies, we did the stretch, a little bit of digging through it, we did the voodoo band. The other thing we can do in order to now maintain this more freedom of movement is when we're doing back exercises to make sure you use wrist straps. These will help alleviate a lot of the extra strain that you're experiencing in your forearm muscle when you're doing exercises where you have to grip something really hard. So you're just going to put that strap around the wrist, and then any implement you grab, you just wrap this around it first, and then you grab onto that handle. Then whenever you're pulling and doing your movements, it's going to help pull through the wrist joint itself, and your forearm muscles won't have to work as hard to grip and hold the implement. So those three things will help a lot. Just a simple stretch with a massage, the voodoo band, and then using a wrist strap whenever you're doing your back exercises.